Imagine diving beneath the waves, not for minutes, but for hours. No tanks, no submarines, no need to return to the surface for air. What if humans could naturally breathe underwater like fish? How would our bodies change? What new technology would we need? And could the ocean become humanity's next home? The idea may sound like science fiction, but the possibility touches on real biology, cutting-edge engineering, and the future of civilization itself. Today, we're exploring one of the most fascinating speculative questions in science. What would happen if humans could breathe underwater? The answer could reshape not only our bodies, but the entire future of our species. To understand whether humans could adapt to life underwater, we should start with something surprising some humans already have. The Bajau people, often called sea nomads, have spent centuries living almost entirely on the water in parts of Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Researchers discovered that the Bajau possess enlarged spleens due to a genetic adaptation linked to the PDE10A gene. This gives them a unique advantage. Their spleens act like natural oxygen reservoirs, releasing oxygen-rich red blood cells when they dive. That means their bodies are already evolving toward more efficient underwater survival. Humans also possess something called the mammalian dive reflex. When submerged, our heart rate slows dramatically, conserving oxygen. Blood flow redirects away from our limbs and toward critical organs like the brain and heart, a trait we share with seals and whales. The ocean may already be shaping human evolution. We just rarely notice it. But breathing underwater isn't just a biological problem. Actually, it's a brutal engineering challenge. Water contains dissolved oxygen, but not nearly enough for human lungs to extract easily. To survive, a resting human would need to process roughly 37.5 liters of seawater every single minute just to get enough oxygen. That's like trying to breathe through a fire hose. Then there's pressure. At only 30 meters underwater, pressure becomes intense enough to compress the air in your lungs to just a quarter of its normal volume, according to Boyle's law. This makes breathing thicker, denser, and incredibly exhausting. Fish evolved specialized gills to solve this problem over millions of years. Humans, with our air-based lungs, are fundamentally not built for this environment. The deeper we go, the more the ocean turns against us. Even if we solved oxygen extraction, another problem appears almost immediately: staying alive in water itself. Water pulls heat from the body about 25 times faster than air. That means even in seemingly mild temperatures, a human body can lose warmth rapidly enough to trigger hypothermia within minutes. Without insulation, the ocean becomes lethally cold. Then there's carbon dioxide. On land, exhale CO2 disperses harmlessly into the atmosphere. Underwater, especially in enclosed breathing systems, it can accumulate quickly. This leads to hypercapnia, a dangerous buildup of carbon dioxide in the bloodstream. The symptoms begin subtly: headaches and dizziness. But as levels rise, confusion, panic, and unconsciousness follow. The ocean doesn't just test our lungs, it challenges our entire thermal and chemical balance. So if biology alone isn't enough, could technology bridge the gap? Scientists are already experimenting with ideas that sound almost alien. One of the most fascinating is liquid breathing. Instead of filling the lungs with air, they are filled with oxygen-rich perfluorochemical liquids, or PFCs. These liquids can carry dissolved oxygen and potentially allow humans to breathe at extreme depths without lung collapse. Surprisingly, this concept is not purely theoretical. Versions of it have already been tested in neonatal medicine. Another concept is the artificial gill. This device would mimic the way fish extract oxygen from water, using large membranes to filter dissolved oxygen. But the challenge is scale. A human would require roughly 32 square meters of membrane surface area to get enough oxygen. That's an enormous engineering barrier. Still, the future may not require humans to evolve like fish. It may require us to build the technology fish perfected millions of years ago. If breathing underwater became possible, the consequences would extend far beyond biology. Entire underwater civilizations could emerge. Imagine massive submerged cities built beneath the waves, housing thousands of people in pressurized habitats. Floating villages and underwater colonies could become solutions to rising sea levels and overcrowded land. The ocean could transform from a frontier into an address. Deep sea mining would unlock rare minerals and metals from the ocean floor. Underwater farming systems could sustain communities using aquaponics and marine agriculture. Tourism would also evolve dramatically. Hotels, resorts, and even permanent vacation habitats beneath the sea. As climate change reshapes coastlines, underwater living may shift from fantasy to necessity. The next great migration may not be to another planet, but beneath our own oceans. But colonizing the ocean comes with consequences. The sea is not empty. It is Earth's largest and most complex ecosystem. Building underwater cities would generate noise, light, and pollution that could disrupt whales, dolphins, and countless marine species. Construction alone could damage coral reefs and fragile deep-sea ecosystems that have remained untouched for millions of years. Chemical leakage and waste from submerged habitats could intensify localized ocean acidification, threatening biodiversity. And then comes the legal question. Who owns the ocean floor? Current international law, such as United Nations frameworks under UNCLOS, was never designed for permanent underwater settlements. Would underwater cities belong to nearby nations, to corporations, to no one at all? Humanity may need entirely new laws, new treaties, and perhaps even a new form of governance for life beneath the sea. So, could humans breathe underwater? Today, not naturally. Our bodies are adapted for air, not water. The ocean presents challenges of pressure, oxygen extraction, temperature, and chemistry that make underwater breathing nearly impossible without radical technological assistance. But the story doesn't end there. Human history is the story of adaptation. We learn to fly despite not having wings. We travel to space despite not being built for the vacuum. And we crossed oceans long before we fully understood them. As rising seas reshape our world and land becomes scarcer, the question may no longer be whether humans can live underwater, but when we will choose to. The future of evolution may not be upward into the stars alone. It may also be downward into the deep blue unknown.